The first major gaming showcase of the summer started off with the PlayStation Showcase, which blew it out of the park. PlayStation just served the gaming world a buffet of video games to keep your eyes on from now until 2024, from amazing AAA exclusive titles to multi-platforming games. The PlayStation Showcase has truly set the bar for what to expect over the next year for PlayStation 5. There's truly something here for everyone, and we are going to recap the biggest titles announced during the PlayStation Showcase. Phantom Blade Zero is a semi-open world game with dark and bleak visuals, with a mixture of Devil May Cry hack and slash with the tones and styles of the Soul series. The game looks gorgeous and takes the love of Kung Fu to another level with some of the best gameplay I've seen lately. Clearly a game to keep your eye on. The cute indie platformer, the Plucky Squire, demonstrated how great indie games are. The Plucky Squire features a 2D art style that takes place on the pages of a storybook, but then you can leave the pages and enter the real world as well. High fantasy meets 2D and 3D platforming gameplay, and I'm super excited for when this game comes out this year. Granblue Fantasy Relink is an action RPG game that is a single-player experience with a co-op mode option that features up to 4 players that you can join up with. You can select from a multitude of characters with different playstyles and abilities, and it looks like any other JRPG, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. We got a look at the combat for this game, and we got to see a little bit about the story, and we saw 2 new playable characters, and the game has finally got a release date. Not very specific, but it at least is coming out in winter of 2023. Street Fighter VI is a game that was not new to the PlayStation Showcase, but a deeper look at the story mode and all the characters you will get to learn from and fight beside was needed. The showcase demonstrated what makes Street Fighter VI different and did everything it needed to hype up a release that is just in a few days. Just like Street Fighter VI, Final Fantasy XVI was not a new game to us players, but Square Enix did everything they had to get gamers hyped for the release at the end of June. We got a look at the gorgeous summon battles, a look at the combat, a deeper dive into the story, and it truly stood out as one of the best games on the showcase, even though we already knew about it, and it releases in just a few short weeks. One of the cinematic trailers showcased ants and snakes and alligators and birds in a forest, and lo and behold, out of nowhere, here's Naked Snake coming out of the darkness with the logo for Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, which is the long-rumored remake, and it may have just been a cinematic trailer, but the hype for this game is there. Not only that, but there was an announcement afterwards for a Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, which will feature all 3 of the original Metal Gear Solid games. There's some doubt ahead of us all because this is the first remake of the series without Kojima involved, and the last game made without Kojima was not too good, so a little bit of hesitance there. Up next, we had the long-anticipated Alan Wake sequel that has finally arrived, and not with just a cinematic trailer either, but our first look at the gameplay. The Psycho Rider returns, but this time he is joined by a new playable character who is looking for him. So, kind of, not sure what Alan Wake's done, but the police are after him. That's one thing we know. But Alan Wake 2 looks darker and scarier than ever with appreciated improvements to the gameplay. Alan Wake 2 looks to improve on everything that came before, and it releases later this year, just in time for Halloween. Ubisoft has taken us back to the roots of the Assassin's Creed series with Mirage, which also will be a prequel to Valhalla. Assassin's Creed games of recent years have changed the formula of the series and have included more RPG elements to the series, but Mirage, on the other hand, during its showcase, revealed what looked like a classic Assassin's Creed game, which many thought was a remake, but I'm excited to see them go back and focus on the assassination and traversal and all the old school stealth and combat systems of previous Assassin's Creed games, because those are by far my favorite. A surprise reveal was our first look at Dragon's Dogma 2 that was more than a cinematic trailer. Dragon's Dogma 2's gameplay was showcased, which took the familiar gameplay of the original, but it obviously looked stunning in comparison. The action RPGs are popular nowadays, and it has been a long time since the first game released, but what we saw of Dragon's Dogma 2 has given us plenty to be excited about when it releases within the next 2 years. The showcase, though, could not have ended on a better note with a long extended look at Marvel's Spider-Man 2. A cinematic trailer showed off the Kraven the Hunter as the main villain, alongside the reveal of Peter Parker's symbiote suit with his new abilities. We got to look at how they will address 2 Spider-Man characters with the ability to change between them, as well as Lizard being involved in the game's story as well. The graphics look fantastic, and the gameplay looks better than ever with all the new combat and traversal abilities. We did not get a release date, but it will be swinging into our homes later this year. Sony as well revealed several upcoming PlayStation VR 2 games, like the previously known Resident Evil 4 Remake VR mode, DLC for Beat Saber based on Queen, further looks at the multiplayer game Crossfire Sierra Squad, the thriller shooter Synapse, And of course, the comedy zombie game Arizona Sunshine 2, which was by far my favorite title amongst the PSVR 2 titles. And we also got to look at the streaming handheld PlayStation has been working on and is going to be releasing later this year, that you can stream all of your PlayStation games straight from your PS5 to the handheld device, as well as PlayStation earbuds. Both interesting announcements and worth keeping an eye on, as they could be amazing purchases to further your gaming experience. E3 may no longer be with us, but PlayStation just showed us that there is no reason to be sad, as they blew up the gaming world with so many amazing video games that will be released over the next year. And there are many games that we left out of this recap because they just did not feel like they warranted being mentioned at this time. But some of these games we'll need to be keeping our eyes on for the future, as some of them could be later on down the line really impressive titles. PlayStation did give us many games to talk about, and I personally am excited about the rest of this year. If you're like me and you're already plotting out which games you'll be looking forward to play out the rest of this 6 months, you're going to have to add a few of these games to this list, I'm pretty sure. But thank you all for watching today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and like this video as well, because we make video game content every single week. Also, comment below what your favorite game announced during the PlayStation Showcase is, and what game you are most excited about purchasing. If you're looking for more gaming content, don't go anywhere, because we have plenty of videos left for you guys to enjoy this week. We have arguably one of the best indie games of 2023 with Bramble the Mountain King. We have a review up for that game coming out tomorrow. On Thursday, we'll be breaking down the 12 big games of summer 2023 on the Blockade list. And then on Friday, we have a brand new episode of Do You Remember? So we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, guys. So do not go anywhere, because a lot of gaming is ahead. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get back to playing some games, because they're not going to play themselves. And I'll see y'all next time.